I am back in Brisbane Water National Park, which is 45 kilometres northwest of Sydney, and I have returned to Mullet Creek after 18 months, and this time I'm going to be focusing on locating the Navvy Camp. This is the Tunnel Firetrail car park, and I have never seen it this busy before. To be fair, it is the King's birthday public holiday Monday, so it makes a bit of sense, but I never realised it was this popular. And if you've ever wondered which birds are making all the whistling sounds, it's these guys. And we have a second gate. A gate within a gate. So you know the trail is going to be good. So it's been a good 18 months since I did my original Mullet Creek video and the tunnel. And last time I came down here, it was the middle of summer and I was running out of daylight. So I didn't get to check out the Navvy Camp or have a look at the quarries. So I finally got around to coming back and walking this trail again. And I'm going to be heading straight for the Navvy Camp. So I'm not too phased about the tunnel. I might have a look on the way back. But I want to try and find the remnants of the camp and some of the old relics and stuff along the shore. So see how I go today, but sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. And it's definitely seen a bit of rain down here because this trail is pretty muddy and there's a lot of puddles and the creeks are flowing and things like that. So completely different walk to the first time I've done it. And you can tell we're getting close because I can hear the first train, which I think is going through the tunnel or the portal. Just getting pretty close. So probably only another 50, 100 metres or something to the Mullet Creek Tunnel, and then I'll turn off and head to the left to go try and find this Navvy Camp. And this section here is actually all new, so there's all spraycrete on the sides, which I think was probably the piece that was under construction last time when I walked this in the summer. So this was all washed away. This looks pretty fresh. And this is the section where this one heads down to the Mullet Creek Tunnel. And this one keeps going for a couple 100 metres and should take me to the Navvy Camp. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to find or how much is left or how easy these quarries are to find either. But I'll have a good look around and go from there. And this looks like a bit of a turnaround bay that you see on Google Maps. So it goes around, but then to the left, it looks like it goes into a single track. I have found an old map with the sites marked, but due to copyright, I can't share the exact picture of that. So this is a loose interpretation. I will include a link in the description to the original article or published book that has the original copy of the map with more detail. So I'll have a look around. We're still pretty high up above the water, so I'm not sure if there's any offshoots going down towards the shore, but I might follow this single track down a little bit, see where that takes me. So this little track's actually taking me down under the power lines, and it's pretty steep, but I want to make it to the water. And there's a few tags and things like on branches. So I'm going to keep heading down. So I've just stumbled across this, which I'll have to check the map I have. But this is definitely part of the Navvy Camp and the township that would have been here. So this is probably a hut or something like that. And you can see there's 4 walls here. So the remains of the building are definitely hard to spot in the bush. I nearly walked past this one. There's a bit of a trail, but not really a trail, following the power lines down. So I'm going to keep following that. These buildings, from what I've seen on the map, they're in like groups of 3 or 4. But I cannot see any more around here for the life of me. There's probably not much left of the majority, to be honest. But I'll see what I can find in the bush here. But overall pretty cool. Definitely this was the remains of a hut or something like that. It's a pretty obvious stone wall and stuck stone here. So I'll keep going and show you guys what I can find down there. I don't know if this is a trail or not, but there's definitely some broken branches and things like that. So we're getting closer towards the water. So definitely someone slid down here not too long ago. There's another pink marker here. So that's complete. Not to be refilled. Not sure what went in it. It's not a bad find. And there's heaps of glass around here as well. It looks like there's another few jars in here. But I'll have to have a look at what this is once I get back home, what it had in it. If you know, let me know in the comments. But I'm sure there's plenty more where that came from. So that's the Wonderbind station up in the distance here. And there's just a train coming through, which looks like it's actually stopping at the Wonderbind station. So probably dropping off some hikers. And the amount of glass through here is crazy. So there's bits and pieces of bottles absolutely everywhere, like next to bottles and things like that. It's all through here. There's some bigger pieces. There's some red pottery and things like that down here. And on these rocks, I'm not sure if this is anything. It almost looks like there's letters carved into it. And it's been chiseled into shape. But that might have been where the old wharf was. So I think this might be a footing for the wharf. Perfect square. So it might have gone out into the bay here. So there's a bit of a track that goes up here. So see where this takes me. And you've got stone wall down here. Actually all around here. And this is one of the quarries. Yeah, right. So I guess you want to be careful if you're coming down here not to accidentally drop down into the quarry. This water looks pretty murky. I'm not sure how deep it goes. But that would not be pleasant at all, but huge. So I think this is where the stones for the Mullet Creek culvert and possibly the railway portal or tunnel came from. And I think there's 2 or 3 of these. So I'm not sure if I'll find them all, but I think this is one of the main ones. So as it goes around, it looks like it gets a bit mangrovey. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it all the way through, but there is a bit of a track up here, which seems to keep going. So I'll see where that takes me. There's a bit of a cave here with a bunch of broken bottles, which look quite old as well. So I'll keep following this around. So some odd shaped bottles as well. So I'm trying to find my way around kind of the water's edge. I'm not having too much luck. There's definitely bits in glass and stuff like that all through here still, but I don't know what the tide is. But I don't think I'm going to be able to walk where I want to walk. So I'll head back and come back the way I came and maybe drop into the tunnel and see what I can see from there. So I'm going to head back to the main trail and go back to the tunnel, and I might have a look around there. But I've tried to make my way around the shore, sticking to the kind of ridge or rock line above the quarry, but I haven't had too much luck, so I'm not sure where the tide is at, if it gets lower and you can walk around or anything like that. But I'm absolutely buggered from walking up and down this hill trying to find a way through, and I didn't bring my gaiters. They're actually in the car, so my legs are itching like anything. So I'll head back up here, jump back on the trail, and see what I can find around the other side. But even this little section alone, still been pretty cool. Super surprised to find a bottle intact. There's a ton of broken glassware down here, but I'm sure there's definitely more to be found if you've got the time and the patience. So I'll get back up here and keep on going. So I'll keep heading up here, back up the hill, get on the main trail and see how I'm feeling, but I might even try and check out the tunnel quickly. But interesting spot, and there's just pottery and glass all through here. So I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up very well. Probably not. It's got a bit of a pattern on it. This could be another one right here. And I think just to the right of this log is another lot of ruins in there, but not much left to see, that's for sure. And I do remember from last time, the walk up the main hill is an absolute slog, but at least it's not too hot today. But down around the water, around the remnants of that Navvy Camp, it's definitely humid, especially when you're trying to scramble up the side of the cliff there and avoid the quarry and things. Overall pretty cool. There were a few people fishing down there as well, so some guy in a kayak offered me a fish from about 1 kilometre away. I politely declined because I didn't want to be carrying a fish 5 kilometres up a Firetrail, but a nice gesture nonetheless. I'm also not sure if I'd eat the fish out of this section either. Definitely seems a little bit dirty, a little bit polluted. A lot of rubbish seems to be washing up as well into that bay up on that shore. So I think some of the bottles are definitely old, and some of the stoneware and things like that, but there's definitely some newer things that I suspect people have, you know, thrown from a boat or something like that, or off the Firetrail at some point, maybe when they're doing the power lines. But nonetheless, interesting to have a look around, and stoked that I found that full bottle as well. So I'll find out what that is when I get back home and have a look online. But I'll keep going now. I'm not too far from where this trail forks off, to be honest. And that's how you know you're on the right track here, because there's steps carved into the stone going down. And again, someone keeps putting these ribbons, these pink ribbons down here. I don't know if this is going to come up on the camera. There's another one there on the tree. And there used to be a rope hanging down here as well to help you get down, because it's just a bit slippery and there's a bit of a drop for some people. But that's gone now. You can see the tree, how worn the tree is from people coming down. Must be a lot more popular now. So this is a legit swamp at the back of the tunnel. There is some stoneware around, piece of a plate. Another piece of a jar or something. So that's Mullet Creek, 18 months onwards. After the first visit, not much has changed. Definitely a lot cooler today when I'm visiting. I'm going to make my way back to the car up the trail, which I'm not looking forward to, and try not to slip on these rocks because it is pretty slippery coming through the tunnel and on the other side. So just make sure you be careful if you do come down here. I did think there was some more Navvy camps or bits and pieces on the other side of the tunnel, but from what I can see there's not, and there's quite a lot of water and mud and things like that on the other side. And I think, if you can hear it in the video, there is a train coming. So I might get a bit of noisy here in a minute as it passes over. But literally right above us. So we'll give that a second to pass. And then I'll make my way back up the hill. So you can hear it, probably only 10 meters on top of the hill, going over the culvert, and it was a small train because it's passed pretty quickly. So I will make my way back to the car now. And that point over there, that's where I thought there'd be more parts of the camp or the old wharf or something, but looking at it now, I would have never got through there, so possibly just on the other side, but that's probably one for next time. Awesome spot though. Very peaceful once the trains stop going past. So all up, doing the Mullet Creek Tunnel / culvert and the Navvy Camp, it's somewhere around 9 kilometers return. So I think down to the end of the trail is about 4.5, I think, from memory. Not too bad. I will try and make a day out of it where I can do Mount Wondabyne and do the little summit there. I think there's a trig point at the top, and possibly link that back up to Giracool, because that goes to the pools there and the creek, which is pretty nice as well. So it's probably not a bad walk to do if you're planning that, to walk actually from Giracool, come through here and summit Mount Wondabyne. But saving that for another day. I was going to try and do the summit quickly if this didn't take too long, but as usual, this has turned into a full half-day affair, and I'll probably run out of daylight on the way back, to be honest. So I'm heading back to the car now. I am dreading the drive back because it is a long weekend. Even coming here at about 11 o'clock in the morning, the traffic heading back towards Sydney was atrocious. So I'll see how it goes. I might have to take the old Pacific Highway, see if that's any better. But fingers crossed, the traffic has cleared and it doesn't take me too long to get home. So all in all, good explore, good to revisit the tunnel as well on the way back and finally check out the Navvy Camp. So pretty stoked with that. If you've done any decent exploring around that area and you know where the other quarries are or some of the better buildings, drop that in the comments and let me know. Otherwise, like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Cheers guys, and I'll catch you on the next adventure. Bye.